Have you ever studied English for years and still can't speak? You know the words, you understand what people say, but the moment someone asks you to speak, your mind goes completely blank. In the next few minutes, you'll get a real 7-day speaking plan. Not tricks, not magic. A simple daily action that rewires your speaking brain. And later in this video, you'll discover why one tiny habit on day 3 changes everything. Most beginners never hear about this one. Drop a 1 in the comments right now if you're a beginner who understands English but freezes when you speak. You're not lazy, you're not slow, and you're definitely not bad at languages. But something happens when someone looks at you and says, "Go ahead, speak." Your heart beats a little faster. Your mind searches for words, and suddenly, everything you studied is just gone. You've been in that moment, maybe at work, maybe in class, maybe in front of someone you wanted to impress. You opened your mouth, nothing came out. Or the wrong words came out, and that small moment felt enormous. So you went back to studying. More grammar, more vocabulary lists, more videos like this one. And still, when the moment comes, you freeze. You start to wonder if something is wrong with you, if maybe English is just not for you, if maybe some people are built for this and you are not. Here's what I want you to know right now. Nothing is wrong with you. The freeze you feel is not a sign that you can't speak. It's a sign that you've been preparing to speak the wrong way. And that is exactly what this video is going to fix. Here's what we're going to do together. 7 days. 7 small daily actions. Each one builds on the last. By day 7, you will speak. Not perfectly, but you will speak. Let's start with why this keeps happening to you. Here's the truth nobody told you in school. Studying a language and speaking a language are 2 completely different things. They use different parts of your brain. When you sit with a textbook, your reading brain is working. When you look up grammar rules, your analysis brain is working. When you memorize vocabulary, your memory brain is working. But none of those are your speaking brain. Your speaking brain only wakes up when you actually speak, out loud, with your own voice. Nobody told you this. School didn't tell you this. Your teachers gave you textbooks and grammar charts and vocabulary lists. They tested you on paper. They gave you marks for writing. But they never trained your speaking brain. So you studied for years. You scored well on tests. You understand movies and songs and videos like this one. And yet, when someone says, "Speak," the brain that reads and the brain that analyzes both go quiet. Because neither of them was ever taught to speak. This is not your failure. This is a gap in your training. A gap that nobody filled. The good news is, your speaking brain can be trained. At any age, at any level, even after years of silence. It just needs a different kind of practice. The kind we're starting today. Most people think fluency is something you arrive at, like a destination. You study long enough, you learn enough words, and one day, you're fluent. That's why so many learners wait. They think, "I'm not ready yet. I'll speak when my English is better." But here's what is actually true. Fluency is not a destination, it's a direction. You don't get fluent and then start speaking. You start speaking and fluency slowly comes toward you. Every time you speak, even badly, even with mistakes, you are moving toward fluency. Every time you stay silent and wait until you're ready, fluency stays exactly where it is. Think of it like walking. You don't learn to walk by reading about walking. You learn by taking steps, falling, getting up, taking more steps. Speaking English works the same way. The learners who get fluent fastest are not the ones who studied the most. They are the ones who started speaking the soonest. Even when they weren't ready, even when it felt wrong. So for the next 7 days, we're going to flip the way you think about this. We're not going to wait until you're ready. We're going to build readiness by speaking. One small action each day, that's all. And it starts with something so simple you'll think it can't possibly work. But it does. And the reason why might surprise you. Here is something most English learners never find out. Your mouth has muscle memory. Just like your hands, just like your legs. When you ride a bicycle, your legs remember what to do. You don't think about it. Your muscles just know. Speaking works the same way. When you speak English regularly, your mouth starts to remember. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw, they learn the patterns. They start moving without waiting for your brain to give instructions. This is why native speakers sound so smooth. It's not because they're smarter. It's because their mouths have been practicing since they were children. Their speaking muscles are trained. Your speaking muscles have been sleeping. They learn to read, they learn to analyze, but they never got the daily physical practice of speaking out loud. And here is the part most learners miss completely. You can wake up those muscles in 7 days. Not with hours of practice, not with a full language course, with a few minutes of daily speaking practice. The same way you'd stretch a muscle that's been still for too long. The 7-day plan you're about to get is built around this exact idea. Each day wakes up the speaking muscles a little more. By day 7, something clicks. And once it clicks, it doesn't go back. Have you ever felt your English actually flow for a few seconds, just for a moment, before the freeze came back? Type yes in the comments if that's happened to you. Let me tell you about Meher. Meher worked at a small hotel reception in Lahore. She was 23. She'd studied English through school. She understood everything the foreign guest said. But every time a guest spoke to her directly, she froze. She'd smile, she'd nod, she'd look down at the desk and pretend to be checking something. And she'd feel the embarrassment rising up her throat like heat. She told her older sister one evening in their family kitchen, "I think I'm just not built for English." Her sister didn't disagree. She just asked one question. "When did you last actually speak a full English sentence out loud?" Meher thought about it. She couldn't remember. She'd listened to English. She'd read English. She'd written English in school tests, but she hadn't spoken it. Not out loud. Not a real sentence. Not in years. Her sister said, "Start there." So Meher did something small. Every morning, she stood in front of the bathroom mirror and said 3 sentences out loud. Just 3. In English. About her day. What she planned to do. How she was feeling. That was it. 3 sentences every morning. By the end of the first week, something had shifted. She still got nervous at the reception desk, but the words came a little faster. There was a half-second less silence before she spoke. By the end of the second week, a guest asked her for restaurant recommendations, and she answered, a full answer, without looking down. She didn't become fluent in 7 days. But in 7 days, her speaking muscles woke up. And after that, everything moved faster. Meher didn't find a secret. She just started doing the one thing she'd been skipping. So what was Meher actually doing? She was building a speaking habit before the pressure arrived. Most learners do it the other way around. They wait for a real situation, a conversation, a meeting, a moment where they have to speak. And then they try to perform without any practice. That's like entering a race without ever having run. The better way is this. Practice speaking when nothing is at stake, so that when something is at stake, your mouth already knows what to do. This is day 1 of your 7-day plan. Today, you speak 3 sentences out loud, in English, in private, about your day. Not 3 perfect sentences, not 3 grammatically correct sentences, 3 real sentences said out loud with your own voice. You can say, "Today I woke up early. I am feeling tired. I want to drink tea. That's enough. That's day one. Here's why this works. When you speak out loud, your brain sends a new kind of signal, a speaking signal. It's different from a reading signal, different from a thinking signal. It activates the part of your brain that produces spoken language. The more often you send that signal, the stronger the connection gets. 3 sentences today is not about learning English. It's about switching on a part of your brain that's been off. Right now, before you move on, say this out loud. I am learning. I am improving. I am speaking. Say it out loud right now, even in a whisper. That counts as day one. Now let's go to day 2. Day 1 is about switching on. Day 2 is about listening differently. Most learners listen to English to understand the words, and that's useful. But there's a second way to listen that almost nobody teaches you. Listen for the rhythm. Every language has a rhythm, a pattern of how sounds flow together. English has its own rhythm, and your ear can learn it. Here's the old way. You watch an English video and you focus on every word. You pause when you miss one. You replay. You look up meanings. Here's the better way. You find a short clip of someone speaking natural English, about 1 minute long. You play it and you don't focus on the words. You focus on the music, the rise and fall, the pauses, the speed. Then you play it again, and this time you speak along. You don't need to say real words. You can make sounds that follow the rhythm, like humming along to a song before you know the lyrics. This is called shadowing, and it works because it trains your mouth before it trains your mind. When your mouth learns the rhythm of English, actual words slot in more easily. Your brain stops fighting the foreign sounds. It starts to expect them. Day 2 takes 10 minutes. Find a 1-minute clip. Listen twice. Shadow it twice. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to follow the music. On day 3, we add the piece that most beginners never discover, the one that makes speaking feel less terrifying. Let's go there now. Here is what wastes the most time for English learners. Trying to build a vocabulary of thousands of words before speaking. Here is what actually changes everything. Learning 20 phrases you will use every single day. Not words, phrases. Full small sentences that work in real conversations. Phrases like, I think that, and can you say that again? And I'm not sure, but, and what I mean is, and that's a good point. These phrases are sentence starters. They buy you time. They keep you in the conversation while your brain searches for the next word. Native speakers use them constantly, not because they don't know words, but because sentence starters create flow. When you learn 1,000 separate words, your brain has to build a sentence from scratch every time you speak. That takes time. That creates the freeze. But when you have 20 ready-made phrases, you already have the beginning of a sentence. You just need to finish it. The pressure drops immediately. Tonight, your day 3 task is this. Write down 5 phrases you could actually use tomorrow. Not advanced phrases, simple ones. Phrases that fit your real daily life. Keep that list on your phone. Read it before any conversation that makes you nervous. Tomorrow morning, speak them out loud 3 times each. That's it. 3 sentences from day 1. Rhythm practice from day 2. 5 phrases from day 3. Together, they are already more than most learners do in a month. And the next 4 days build on exactly this. Here is what happens if you watch this video and do nothing different. A week passes. 2 weeks. A month. You still understand English well. You still freeze when someone asks you to speak. You still feel that gap between what you understand and what you can say. Not because you're not capable, but because the speaking brain never got the practice it needed. Time passes either way. 7 days from today, you will be somewhere. The only question is whether your speaking brain will be a little stronger than it is right now. The 3 days we've already covered take less than 15 minutes each. Days 4 through 7 follow the same pattern: small, daily, building. Day 4, record yourself speaking for 60 seconds. Don't listen back yet, just record. Day 5, have a 1-minute conversation with anyone, a family member, a friend, even a chatbot. Just speak. Day 6, think out loud in English for 5 minutes while you do something routine: walking, cooking, getting dressed. Day 7, listen to all your recordings from the week. Hear the difference. That difference is real. It's yours, and it compounds. If you've watched this far, you're already different from most people who click on a video like this and leave after 30 seconds. What word describes how you feel about your English right now? Drop it in the comments. One word is enough. Picture yourself 6 months from now, not on a stage, not in a job interview, just a regular Tuesday. Someone at work turns to you and asks your opinion on something, in English. And you answer, not perfectly, but clearly, confidently enough that they nod and respond. The conversation moves forward. You didn't freeze. You didn't go blank. You just spoke. Afterwards, you don't feel relief. You feel normal. Because this is normal now. That version of you is not far away. That version of you is not a different person. It's you. After 7 days of small speaking practice, repeated over and over until it becomes a habit. The gap between where you are now and that Tuesday conversation is not a year of study. It's not a language course. It's not moving to another country. It's a speaking habit, built in 7 days, kept going after that. The learners who get there fastest are not the most talented. They are the most consistent. They spoke when it was uncomfortable. They recorded themselves when it felt awkward. They said 3 sentences every morning, even when they didn't feel like it. They chose action over waiting. You can be that learner. You already are, because you're still here. You didn't stop at the hook. You didn't skip ahead. You stayed. That means something. That means you're ready. Before this video ends, let's make sure today counts. Here's what you learned. First, your speaking brain is separate from your reading brain. It only wakes up when you speak out loud. Second, listening for rhythm, not just meaning, trains your mouth before it trains your mind. Third, 20 everyday phrases do more for your fluency than 1,000 separate words. Now here's your one action for right now. Say this sentence out loud before you close this video. I am speaking English, and I am getting better every day. Say it out loud, right now, even quietly. Even if it feels strange, that's your speaking brain switching on. That's day 1 starting. Tomorrow morning, your task takes 3 minutes. Wake up, stand wherever you are. Say 5 sentences in English about your day. Don't think too long, just speak. Do that every morning this week and add 1 small action each day from the plan we covered. If this helped you, share it with 1 friend who also freezes when they speak. You won't just be sharing the video, you'll be giving them a starting point. Because every time you speak, something changes. Say these words out loud, twice. Right now. I am a speaker of English. I practice every day. My voice is getting stronger. Say it again. I am a speaker of English. I practice every day. My voice is getting stronger. Next time, we're going to talk about why your English sounds perfect in your head, but completely different when you speak. And what to do about it starting tonight. You won't want to miss that one. Keep speaking. Keep growing. This is Englished Up, and we will see you in the next one.